Hey everyone, it's been a while since I did a review like this, but the newest Prime Masters are now out in stores, so here we go. And we've got Megatronus, Quintus, and Solus. From left to right in the Bomb Burst, Bludgeon, and Octopunch shells. As you can see on the back, all the little product info. The symbols visible through the little windows. And the different modes they all got. So, of course, time to open them up. Apologies, since it's been a while. Especially doing this around a camera. There we go. And of course there are instructions, but you don't really need them if you remember quite a bit about these figures. All the same transformation and whatnot. Patronus. Quintus. And Solus. Let's first take a look at the shells themselves. Kind of forget how I covered the previous ones, but Once again, they all have really nice detail, and they're all Decepticon-based shells this time around. All monster-based. And of course, you can notice the insignias on them. Especially impressed with Quintus's for Bludgeon, because he's got really nice face detail on them. Individually sculpted teeth. Got the nose hole, or however you want to put it. Lots of detail on the samurai style gear. Of course, their backs are all pretty simple, just kind of tech suit back sections. But still really nice. All their own personalities. Very distinctive. And yes, like many others, I'm a little bit bummed out that Quintus, who's associated somewhat with the tentacled Quintessons, is not the tentacle-based Octopunch. But, oh well. Gotta just go with the flow there. To their actual little Prime Master selves. Of course, once again, very little. It's unfortunate that Quintus and Solus don't have at least different paint for their visors or mouth plates to provide a little contrast, but they still look pretty nice. Alongside their fellow Prime Masters and, of course, Megatronus with a pretty detailed looking face. Got all their symbols. And of course they can turn into little symbol versions of themselves just by flipping the legs against the torso. Pretty cool looking. And just to note again, the basic articulation, they got ball jointed arms, but not much movement from the shoulder. Little ball jointed heads. As you can see, the leg articulation like so. I just, of course, put them in their shells. Get them fully armored up. You open out the front, angle them in, and close it up. For the weapons, of course, you can either put it in the hand or snap it onto the back. As the shells, they only have basic forward and back arm articulation. I guess if you want to be creative with balance, the weapon peg can maybe tilt them a little bit forward. Sorry. But they all look very nice. Suited up like so, with their weapons attached. I think Solus is the only, Octopunch is the only fully original mold when it comes to weapon and stuff. Megatronus shares a bit with Liege Maximo. You have the same blade weapon, just unpainted this time. And the back sections are the same. And Bludgeon has a bit with Landmine, I think. With the Quintus to Alpha Trion. Oh, no, wait. Actually, never mind. Weapon's similar, but it's got like a thinner end of the barrel. So at a glance, it would look familiar, but it's a touch different. Probably a similar mold, but not the same one. And of course, they got lots of unique functionality with bigger figures. Because of course, you can pop them out of there and attach them on the outside to their shell's weapon forms, like so. There's Quintus / Bludgeon. Eventually, Megatronus / Bomb Burst. And Solus with Octopunch. Got another claw weapon, another rifle of some kind, and of course this looks kind of confusing, but I like to think it's maybe like a long distance thing, like the tentacles can extend and grab onto targets, something like that. Sorry about that cut there. Had to stop for just a moment. Yeah, but anyway, here comes another compatibility. Of course, the weapon modes can be wielded by any figure with a 5mm peg in the hand, like Grimlock here. So if you'd like to substitute a combiner hand in a creative way, you can extend the peg just straight out so it can slot into the wrist. With smaller Legends class figures, you can move the Prime Master itself, have it ride that figure's alt mode in some way, like Megatronus with Slash. So now her card can actually be featured in the play pattern, finding and eliminating deep cover targets. Also with Deluxe and Voyager class figures, they can integrate into Prime armor. Like that. Or like this with folks like Swoop. with Titan's Return figures, they are compatible with their Titan Master system. So the other way. There we go. Admittedly, with at least when it comes to the symbols, Solus would probably work better since it looks like a cycloptic eye. Kind of like my Cronus's, I think. But it's effective either way. Also with larger figures, for the combined modes of combiner teams, they can substitute with the Enigmas of Combination. And for the leader class evolution figures, they can substitute a matrix core. They're all the same shape and basic integration. I have to turn them all back into their armored robot selves. Is there a Megatronus? And once again, here are the three all together. Looking pretty cool. Pretty monstrous. And since I can't really hold them all in one hand or even two hands pretty gracefully for the sake of the camera, just display all 8 together in their little assortments together. Yeah, so we've got Alchemist, Liege Maxima with Skullgrin, Cronus with like Cloudburst, Vector Prime with Metal Hawk, Alchemist Prime with Submarauder, Alpha Trion with Landmine, I think Landmine, Megatronus with Bombburst, Quintus with Bludgeon, and Octopunch, no, Solus with Octopunch. Fortunately, these are the last of the individually released Prime Masters. The remaining 5 are only with bigger figures, I think. Onyx Primal is available with the big Predacons set. And let's see, Amalgamus, Nexus, Prima, and the Arisen come with the Throne of the Primes Optimus Primal exclusive. Unfortunate way to complete the set that this wave of the toy line is actually based on. In order to get all 13 primes, you gotta start looking around for the remainder. But I'll probably get to those at some point. Maybe just do simpler little videos of them, since they'll be out of the package for me. And they don't have any pretender shells like these. I'd say that's about it. In my usual dragging on and on style. So, see you later, folks.